Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Vlog number 160. Sorry about last week, but it was stupid hot here. It was no way above seasonal. I think we broke a couple of records even. But it's back to normal now, so I can go back to making videos. And as you can see, this is the 7-foot tank with the Hap Bowler Eye. And I now have a tank boss. He's so far being relatively controlled. He's just showing everybody that, he's in charge. He hasn't hurt anybody. There aren't any ripped fins or anything. And I'm just waiting to see if we're going to get some fry out of him. I mean, he's a nice male, so hopefully we'll get a couple pregnant females, and I'll start collecting fry, because I really want to keep this line going, because they are a lovely group of fish, and I do actually have need for them relative to a couple of other things that I'm currently breeding, which I'm going to have to change my mind about, I think, because I have literally nowhere for them to go. So that's not a good thing. I don't want to just end up with tanks full of fish that have literally no use. This is not one of them for sure. These are guppies that are doing really well. I threw a little sprig, as you can see on the left, of hornwort in here, just to see if I get a corroboration on it having an effect on pearlweed, and it definitely does. Pearlweed is just not doing anywhere near as well when it was thriving before I put it in there, so that's just something I wanted to check, and it's definitely the case. And as you can see, the guppy fry are beginning to color up, so they're doing really well. And these are the OB zebras, and you can see they are beginning to get their spots. Not all of them will. There always are a few throwbacks, but so far the colors are good. A couple of them are being a little picked on, but that's normal for African cichlids. Again, I just look for torn fins and that sort of thing, and so far we're all good. I think going forward, I think I might breed zebra danios more over the pearl danios. No real reason other than the fact that this particular gene pool is doing really well, and I haven't had any issues with it, so it seems like a good idea to continue with them and just have stronger fish. Again, that may change if I find some really nice pearl danios down the road. Now, another OB zebra bred, she had a nice mouthful, and one of the odd things that happens periodically with them is she held them for too long. She just didn't want to let them go, so it took a little longer to get them to fatten up a bit. As you can see, they have bellies now, so it's just one of those things that happens periodically. Also, the other thing I noticed is she was a little bit more aggressive with her fry once she had let them loose. Again, the problem being is she went too long, so she was really, really hungry. I don't think she ate any. There's still, it's a good sized mouthful, and it's really difficult to tell if that mouthful is smaller because she ate a couple or just smaller because it's smaller. So anyway, she went back into the breeding pool. No real issues with that. If she had swallowed her eggs or her fry, I would pull her and stick her in a display tank and not breed her again. But that's fine. A little bit of aggression with Africans is not anything really worth noting. So this tank's doing well, as you can see, but I haven't yet got to the point where I wanted to. Well, actually, I do want to. I said I haven't got to the point where I've actually done anything about it, which is I need to prune back that lily. I need to get it a little less aggressive with all its roots, but that's all. It's just taking up too much space. The Achilles obviously don't mind because they're used to that sort of thing, but need to get some more space going here. This tank here is obviously just one black skirt tetra. I need to get it out of there and put it in a tank. I need to get rid of these guys because they're getting old now. Not old enough to start breeding. I don't want them to do that. And what I want to do is I want to move these angels. I'm going to split them up between those two tanks to the left because I want to start breeding these guys. And they're a little bit cramped in here, and I just want to give them some more room. Pick 2 or 3 groups so they can start deciding who's going to mate with whom, and then of course hopefully get some fry off them, because I do want to have more angels. All the angels I bred so far have all gone out to display tanks, and these are the only ones that are left. So also I want to get this pruned back a fair amount because I like the look of it, but unfortunately it's very difficult to get in there and work on the fish tanks. I had mentioned I want to do some very simple aquariums, no filters, no nothing. Got a few things on the go here just starting off, but it's in the early stages yet. And again, since I did the first major prune and massive water change on here, I haven't done anything with this. All these guppies are just waiting until they get a little bit older, and then I'm going to pull them out and put them in a tank for what I use just to scoop out and put in tanks. There's nothing special in any of those lines, and then I want to get some of these guys, once that's done of course. I want to put some of those in there. I really like those fish on the left. These guys here will not probably go into the pond at all, but they're going to get another aquarium because I'm going to be cleaning out some of these tanks and getting them set up so I can spread these out a bit, because even though they're breeding quite a bit in there, the platies need some more room. And these guys, I'm going to go through them. I'm going to see if there are any specific ones that I really like, color-wise, that sort of thing. I do want to continue breeding the Zebra Danios, as I mentioned earlier, and the rest of them will go into just a general tank, or as I said, for scooping out for fish tanks for clients. I keep pruning this. It keeps doing really well. I'm very happy with it. I'm leaning very heavily towards doing a lot more hornwort and less pearlweed. Just my personal preference, that's all. Thank you for all your comments, by the way, on that. Much appreciated. And I, obviously, as I mentioned before, I like both Java Moss and subwasser tanks. So I am going to try doing some breeding with subwasser tanks, see if it's a thing. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm going to keep both plants anyway. So this is, again, as you see on the right, some hornwort, and it is interfering with the pearlweed. I mean, that's nothing against pearlweed. I mean, it's a reasonable plant. It's just, like I said, I find it a bit easier to deal with the duckweed issues I have with hornwort. Yeah, even though you can see a fair amount of duckweed in there. This is another look I like. Java fern is very good at the surface like this, and it just doesn't have enough needles or small spaces or small leaves, so it is not preferential for fry, that's all. I have been switched over to 3 bottles for doing my brine shrimp hatching, and I do like the productivity. I don't end up with a day where I'm short this way. Sometimes I end up with a bit too much, but that's always preferable. And I think this is I'll let this go a little longer, but I think this is the system I'm going to go with when I make my own. I'm going to end up with these guys. I mentioned their offspring earlier, and they're going to go to a display tank because I have no use for them. I don't find they do well in display tanks. I have one where they're breeding, but it's just they don't show well. So anyway, leave comments, let me know what you think, and as always, thank you very much for coming by and watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.